All right, my friends, you got to be careful when you seek assistance from the Social Security Administration when it comes to your specific Social Security benefits. Now, I've done videos before where we used Larry Kotlikoff and what he said is the absolutely disgraceful treatment of widows when it came to Social Security. In fact, the Office of the Inspector General for the Social Security just hammered them back in February of 2018, saying, look, you guys have been essentially, you've cost widows millions upon millions upon millions of dollars with bad information. Well, it seems like that bad information is still, I'm not going to say run rampant, but it certainly could happen to you. So I want to, don't forget to subscribe down below. So I want to share with an email I got from a guy. He says, Josh, just yesterday, you said something different than the people at Social Security told my wife. You said me that if I wait until I'm 70 and to receive my Social Security and die, my wife would be able to choose hers at 66 or 100% of mine, assuming I died. The Social Security people said her choice would not allow her to get my benefits received at my death, but rather what my age 66 benefits were. So essentially, he's saying if his full retirement age is 66, at his death, his wife would not be able to get the benefits that he was receiving at his death, but instead what they were at 66. Now, I don't know. I mean, look, I wasn't there. I don't know the whole story. Again, there's something that sounds like they're thinking, the Social Security Administration was thinking more about spousal benefits versus survivor benefits. I don't know. But I did email him back and said, well, if what I'm understanding is survivor benefits are what you're trying to get, then you're either misunderstood what they said or they're wrong. One of those two things, because without question, survivor benefits work different than spousal benefits. And we'll talk a little bit about both here in a second. Either way, though, he walked out, or at least his wife did, walked out with an understanding that was opposite from the truth, which means you've got to know how it works for you. And if you rely on the Social Security Administration, it's kind of like relying on the IRS to do your taxes. That is on you. If they screw it up, it's not on them. It's just not. And going back to like if you're doing required minimum distribution, if you're relying on your brokerage firm and they screw it up, that's not on the brokerage firm, it's on you, my friends. So you got to get it right. All right, so let's dive right into this. Let me get my trusty PVC pipe with the connector. Oh, I love PVC. All right, so here I am. This is me, Josh, and we got my beautiful, beautiful Charlotte, and I'm 67 years old is my full retirement age, and her full retirement age is 67 years old as well. So, given we know what our full retirement age is, 67, when were we born? Do we know? Well, we know it was after 1959. If you have a full retirement age of 67, you know for a fact that someone was born after 1959, okay? And I was born in 1970, and she was born in 1974. But be it as it is, we'll just say this is our FRA. All right, so I have an AIME of $4,600. That's an average index monthly earnings of $4,600, which means I average roughly, take my trusty calculator, and I take 4,600 bucks times that by 12. I average roughly $55,000 a year of income over the 35 years that Social Security uses to define your benefits. So basically, what they're saying in this case is they're saying, okay, Josh, you average $55,000 a year. Times that by 35, you made 1.925 millions of earnings that we're going to use to calculate your benefit. 1.925 is that simple. So that's 4,600 is the equivalent of 55,000 a year, which means my PIA is roughly 2,000 bucks. It's not quite there, but I just did it to make the numbers easier. All right, so if my PIA is $2,000, because I'm 67 years old, if I take it early at 62, I do lose 30% of my benefit. So my PIA at 2,000, which is right here at 67 years old, if I took it at 62, I'm only getting $1,400 a month. If I wait till I'm 67, I get $2,000 a month, thus your primary insurance amount at your full retirement age. If I wait till I'm 70, I get a 24% bonus, and that will give me $2,480 a month. All right, so again, if your PIA or your FRA is 66, because you're born before 1960, these numbers will be slightly different for sure. But given that I was born in 1970, this is what we're going to use. So again, we're assuming I made $55,000 a year for those 35 years, which gives me an average index monthly earnings of $4,600, which means my primary insurance amount is $2,000. This is based on 2018 numbers, by the way. The 2019 just came out. I'll do another video on that. Not a huge change, but a change nonetheless. And you see, PIA 2,000, early 1,400, delayed earnings credits at 2480 at 70. All right, so my lovely wife, we'll just say she had an average index monthly earnings of $3,000 a year, which meant she will just say she roughly averaged $36,000 a year over the course of her working career. So $36,000 a year times 35 means she made $1.26 million over the course of her working career that is being used to calculate Social Security. Now, some of that she could have made, $120,000, for 10 years, and then nothing for 25 years. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, she either averaged $36,000 a year, or she averaged 10 years where she made $120,000. I mean, literally, all we're trying to calculate is how much would 36,000 times 35, she would have needed to make 1.2 million. So if she made 120,000 exactly. So if she averaged if she made 120,000 for 10 years, she'll have an AIME of 3,000. If she made 60,000 for 20 years, she'll have an AIME of 3,000. That's just how the way it works. Make sure I'm still connected. And either way, it doesn't matter if she made $36,000 a year for 35 years, or like I just said, $120,000 a year for 10 years, or $60,000 a year for 20 years. Either way, she's still going to have an AIME of $3,000 because her total earnings that Social Security uses will be roughly 1.2 to 1.3 million, which means her PIA at this stage is $1,478. So now we're going to start writing some numbers up here. So her PIA is $1,478. If she decides to take it early, she will reduce it by 30%. So we take our trusty 1,478, our calculator 1,478 minus 30% on that puppy, and we're going to have 1,034 if she takes it early. If she takes it late, she'll have 24% more than 1,478, which is 1,832. All right, so some people say, well, why can't she take her spousal benefit instead of yours? A couple things going on with that is that the spousal benefit is only half of mine. All right, so spousal benefit will only be half of my primary insurance amount. That's just all there is to it. So because her spousal benefit will be less than her benefit, she won't be able to take that. And secondly, she can only get my spousal benefit when I file as well, because we're still married. If you're divorced, it's different, and that's weird, but it is what it is. So because we're still married, she can only get my spousal benefit once I file. And the fact that I'm 4 years older than her, I'm not going to file. I'll file at 60. I'll file at 70. But it wouldn't make any sense to take a spousal benefit because her own benefit's higher than that anyway. So essentially what happens here is she could take a spousal benefit, but it would be stupid to do that just because her own benefit's higher than mine anyway. In fact, even when she takes an early benefit at her 62 years old, her early benefit would still be more than my spousal benefit, than her spousal benefit, because the spousal benefit is only half of my primary insurance amount. All right, so in this case, there's no reason for her to take a spousal benefit whatsoever. In fact, two things again. She can't take a spousal benefit until I apply anyway. So if I don't apply, the spousal benefit is off. So if she goes to the Social Security office when she's 62 and says she wants to file, they're not going to even ask for a spousal benefit because she would get a reduced amount relative to what her PIA is, which is still higher than my spousal benefit, which she couldn't even take anyway because I haven't filed. So just for this case, no spousal benefits because there's nothing to get. There's no there. And when she goes early, they're going to deem her to take the most of her spousal benefit or her own benefit. In this case, it's certainly her own benefit. So we're going to say, Charlotte, we've done some studies. We've watched folks over at Alicia Monell over at Boston College Center for Retirement Research. We watched Larry Kotlikoff over at Boston University, who does economics, and he's got the software for Social Security, which is wonderful. And we're going to file early for her, and we're going to file late for me. So that's going to be our benefit. We're going to file early for her, 1,034, and we're going to file late for me. So we go along. We're going along swimmingly. We're getting my benefit plus her benefit. Once I hit 70, let me erase all this stuff here. I wonder if this eraser will work at all. So 1,034 is what she's going to get. Actually, let me keep that. And once I file, we'll also get this one. So we'll get her benefit, 1,034, plus my benefit of 2,408. That's 4. That's 11. 11, 5, 3, So we're going to get, that's $42,000 a year right there of Social Security. Not too shabby, and significantly taxed much more favorably than other stuff. All right, now I get hit by the proverbial bus. This goes back to what my man asked me, Dennis. He says, well, they told him when I get hit by the proverbial bus, Charlotte will lose her own benefit because it's lower, but she'll only get this benefit instead. What I was going to get at my full retirement age, or in Dennis's case is 66, but mine's at 67. That's what he understood Social Security said, and that's simply not true. She's going to get this benefit, 2480, because that is, again, that will be adjusted for a cost of living adjustment, so it might be 3,000. We don't know. But if I get hit by the proverbial bus the day after I start filing, she's going to get this, not this. That is not happening. She's going to get 2,480 on her benefit, and now she will lose her own 1,034, but she will step into mine. And that's exactly how it works. That literally is not debatable. And again, it kind of makes me concerned that Social Security didn't get that. I don't know. I'm not casting blame. I have no idea. But given what I know about Social Security leading widows to file for their own benefit early when they should have not done that relative to taking a survivor benefit, that's it wouldn't shock me if that were true, to be honest with you, at all. So you got to understand how it works. You got to understand three things. Is your own. Now remember, Social Security, we're just talking retirement benefits. We're not talking about SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance. We're not talking that. We're talking retirement benefits. So when it comes to retirement benefits, you get your own benefit. That's me. You got your spousal benefit. We already talked about that, which is half of my primary insurance amount, or I get half of Charlotte's, depending on how the situation dictates. And then you got survivor benefit. Survivor benefit is a surviving spouse. He gets either the more of his or her own benefit that she was already receiving, or what the spouse was receiving when he or she died. And so again, in this case, she loses her 1,034, but she collects my benefit right there at 2,480. Hope that makes sense. A lot going on there, but man, it's critical to understand. This is, again, spousal benefits and survivor benefits, two completely different cans of worms. But you got to understand it, and you got to go down there with that knowledge forehand. That way that you don't get told something that doesn't make any sense. And certainly you don't want to file based on what they tell you, because they might be wrong. We have evidence of that. And again, if my man Dennis here is correct, he's not lying to us. He just, again, if he is correct and that's what they're telling his wife, that's the wrong answer. Can't have that. But again, it's on them, not the Social Security Administration. It's on them, Dennis and his wife, to figure this out, because if they screwed up, Social Security Administration won't make them right. It's going to be on them. So, as always, like what you see, subscribe down below. Comments, questions, concerns, always welcome. Go to the blog at heritagewealthplanning.com. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.